Good evening. I'm Bob Schwartz of the Gay Liberation Network. Sitting to my left is Stan Smith. Tonight we're going to be talking once again about a person whose cause we have championed in recent months, Bradley Manning. Now, for those who may not be familiar with Manning, he is a 24-year-old Army intelligence analyst who was accused of releasing the collateral murder video that shows the killing of unarmed civilians and 2 Reuters journalists by a U.S. Apache helicopter in Iraq. He is also accused of sharing the Afghan war diaries and the Iraq war logs and a series of embarrassing U.S. diplomatic cables. These documents were published by the anti-secrecy website WikiLeaks, and they have illuminated such issues as the true number and cause of civilian casualties in Iraq, along with a number of human rights abuses by U.S.-funded contractors and foreign militaries, and the role that spying and bribes play in international diplomacy. Embarrassing indeed to the United States government. Given the war crimes exposed, if Private Bradley Manning was the source of these documents, in our opinion, he should be given a Medal of Honor. Not a single person has been harmed by the release of this information, even though Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said it put lives at risk. The former Defense Secretary Bob Gates said that the release of this information was really not very important. Yet the Obama administration has chosen to persecute the whistleblower rather than prosecute the war criminals who were exposed. Obama, the constitutional law professor, has already called Manning guilty. And remember, he's the commander-in-chief who sits at the top of the chain of military command that will ultimately decide the innocence or guilt of Bradley Manning. For several months, the Obama administration imprisoned Manning in conditions that many international human rights observers said was akin to torture. Even the State Department spokesman, P.J. Crowley, in March condemned Manning's manner of confinement as being ridiculous, counterproductive, and stupid. And for this truth-telling, did Crowley get a Nobel Prize? No, he was fired by Obama, the same man who has condemned Manning as guilty. While the conditions of Manning's imprisonment have improved considerably thanks to international pressure, Manning is still facing a potentially very long prison sentence and could possibly face the death penalty. So with that by way of background, I'd like to ask our guest tonight, Stan Smith, who is a member of the Free Bradley Manning Network and also on the committee to free the Cuban Five. I'd like to ask him why a whistleblower is important, given what's going on in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, this is a very important part of American tradition. We can remember the role that Daniel Ellsberg played in the Vietnam War and making the public aware of what was really going on, how the government was operating behind the backs of the American people to start the war in Vietnam and to keep it going. And it's the same thing with Bradley Manning in Iraq. It's too bad we didn't have someone like Bradley Manning maybe back in 2002 to expose all the lies that the Bush administration was saying about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and so on. If that had come out and it was publicized in all the corporate media, maybe we could have avoided both these wars in the first place. But we could also have whistleblowers. How important they'd be in 2008 with all the bank bailouts, about all this stuff going on behind the scenes by all these big bankers to rip off the public, to which no one so far has ever been prosecuted for it. So whistleblowing is, if we don't have that, we don't really have democracy and freedom in this country, because American people don't have the right to know, and it's all under national security and secrecy laws, and then we don't really know what's going on in this country, and we can't really act to make things better because we're just kept in ignorance. Now, I also like to say that one of the things that Bradley Manning, or that's on WikiLeaks, is there's another famous incident where that was released in the cable, what's it called? Cable, I forget what it's, Cable Gate? Where U.S. soldiers went into a house in some town just north of Baghdad with 11 people in there, and 2 men, 4 women, and 5 children, and handcuffed them all, and then shot them all in the head. And then to cover it up, they had a U.S. airstrike blow up the house to make it look like it was the opposition there that was responsible. When it came out what really happened, then the president or the prime minister of Iraq said that U.S. soldiers are now going to have to be accountable for their crimes they commit in Iraq. And once that became, before they were immune from prosecution, and once that was told to Obama said, okay, then we're going to have to withdraw our troops from Iraq. So that was one thing that helped lead to the U.S. to get out of, well, most of the U.S. soldiers to get out of Iraq. So you're saying that if Manning did what he said to have done, that he helped bring about getting the U.S. out of Iraq. Yes, I think we all owe him a great. We owe him he deserves to be honored. That's why I work in the Bradley Manning Network, to get out information about him to the public, to defend him, because we really owe him a lot. He helped rejuvenate the anti-war movement, and he's helped expose a lot of government criminality that otherwise we wouldn't know about.
Stan mentioned Daniel Ellsberg. Now Ellsberg, who is now in his 80s, is a supporter of Bradley Manning. Ellsberg was the one who released the Pentagon Papers during the war in Vietnam, which revealed U.S. war crimes in that nation many decades ago, and here we are decades later, and it's necessary that people outside of government shine a light on what's going on. And as Stan has said, Manning is a hero. This is why he's been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Arguably, he has done more to bring about peace than has the President of the United States, who is for some reason, is a recipient of a Peace Prize. That defies any rational explanation, in my opinion. Manning is deserving of the Nobel Peace Prize and has been nominated. for that prize. I'd like to comment on why a gay rights organization is taking up the Bradley Manning case just briefly. Manning is himself a gay man, but more importantly, we in the Gay Liberation Network don't limit ourselves to what's going on in the gay community or to advocate for what might be a narrow range of rights that apply to LGBT people alone. We do that, but we don't confine ourselves to that, because we think that U.S. war in Iraq and Afghanistan, which is costing billions of dollars, affects all citizens, straight and gay alike, and we intend to advocate for an end to these wars, so that money can be spent on such things as education and AIDS service delivery. We are the Gay Liberation Network, and there is our web address. We invite everyone, in fact urge everyone, to join the Free Bradley Manning contingent in the Gay Pride Parade, which is on Saturday, June 24th. We're meeting at 11 a.m. Near the new Target store at Sunnyside and Broadway. For information on Bradley Manning, to get more details on his case, you can go to Courage to Resist. Their web address is now on your screen, couragetoresist.org, and click the Bradley Manning link. These are some shots from activities that Gay Liberation Network has been engaged, protest parades. These recent shots were taken last year at the Pride Parade. We again invite you to join our contingent this year, where we will once again be highlighting the Bradley Manning case. This was an image taken at a protest at Fort Leavenworth, where Manning is currently being incarcerated. There's somebody proclaiming Chicago's support for Bradley. There is the entrance to the United States Army at Fort Leavenworth. I am Bradley Manning, a protester proclaims. This was another image taken at Fort Leavenworth. Protests have occurred in several cities across the nation, some organized by Courage to Resist, which is promoting protests at the gay pride parades across the nation this year. We think it's critically important that his case be lifted up, so that pressure can be placed on the Obama administration to free this man, who really has committed no offense other than telling the truth. And he's been incarcerated for approximately 2 years. Is that?
Yeah, 2 years, just a few days ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so much for a speedy trial. Let's talk a little bit more about the nature of this trial, Stan. It's a military court-martial.
Right.
So what's going on here? I mean, I've read about secrecy, and it's the government is refusing to release information, keeping the whole thing as quiet as possible.
Well, I've read that the Bradley Manning's lawyers have been trying to get some documents the government has about the case, some 250,000 pages, some of which include their own investigations of the damage that was done by the release of all these things on WikiLeaks. And I think some of it would show that there was no real, no one's lives were at risk because of it, which I guess is one reason they don't want to release it to the defense, because it hurts their case to try to imprison Bradley Manning for a long period of time. And I know in the December when they had the pretrial hearing, the defense could only call 2 witnesses and the prosecution was able to call 15. So they're trying to very much limit the ability of the defense to mount a good defense, denying them access to all the information to the case and also to present witnesses in his defense. But I also like to say, and one thing, besides the gay parade, we also have 4th of July parades we participate in, and if people in the audience have local ones in their towns, if you call us in or email to our website, we can have some of us come out and participate in the parades. And another thing about whistleblower, I mean, really, the function of the media and reporters are to be whistleblowers. That's what they used to be. That's what they should be. And Bradley Manning is, well, if he's responsible for this, WikiLeaks is one of the few media sources that's actually involved in whistleblowing, exposing what the government is doing that they want to hide. But it's supposed to be in a free and open society. It's supposed to be the media as a whole. But nowadays, the media is basically covering up a lot of the government's crimes.
Well, candidate Obama promised unprecedented transparency.
Yes.
And support to whistleblowers. But President Obama has done just the opposite, as has been the case in other areas. Whistleblowers, not only Manning, but others have been persecuted, driven out of office. I mentioned earlier this person in the administration who expressed his opposition to the treatment that Manning had undergone at the beginning when he was held under very harsh conditions, subjected to sleep deprivation, being forced to stand naked for long periods of time, and other treatments that are widely considered as bordering on torture, if not being torture. This guy blew the whistle on this and said he disagreed, and for his efforts he was fired by Obama. So there's been unprecedented secrecy going on in this court-martial against Manning, and in fact there's been more secrecy in this trial than what's been going on in the trials that are occurring in Guantanamo Bay. The hearings aren't closed door, but more ominously, they include no public records, no transcripts, no public motions from the government. They provide so little media access that the Center for Constitutional Rights and several media organizations are suing the military for more transparency. So, as Stan has said, in a free society, the media should be given access, and they should demand access. Many of them are just rolling over and not bothering to cover this and other things they should be covering. But a few of them apparently are upset enough that they are taking action to try to force more transparency.
Yes, on Democracy Now! They have good programs on the pre-trial hearings going on right now. Another problem with this is that if Bradley Manning becomes convicted, then it's going to send a chill among all reporters and all media. It's like, well, because he's being accused of aiding the enemy. And if just releasing information about what the U.S. is doing is somehow aiding the enemy somehow, which doesn't really have to be proven how exactly, then it's going to make every reporter think twice about what they're going to put in the media, because they don't want to be prosecuted for aiding the enemy.
Yeah, I think that's
a serious problem. I mean, that basically would end a lot of media freedom.
Well, I think that's a major part of the government's effort here, is to intimidate other people. Because when even the defense secretary says, well, there wasn't much impact in what was released, I think it's pretty clear that there was no real damage, no real release of top secret information. But what was done sets a bad precedent. I mean, they don't want the media releasing information that might even be embarrassing to the United States government. So I think intimidating other people is an important part of what's going on here. I want to remind our viewers that this is a call-in show, and we do have a little bit of time to take a call or two. So that number is on your screen, 312-738-1060. Stan, you mentioned that there were some other opportunities to get out and show support for Manning. Could you go over those
well, last year
activities again?
We participated in 4 different 4th of July parades. Had Bradley Manning contingents and banners. Just rather some of them, in the southwest suburbs. So it was rather interesting to go into different neighborhoods and see the reaction of the audience. Mostly it was pretty supportive. Some people were hostile, but that's okay. Then we also participated Lollapalooza, leafleted the people going to Lollapalooza last year, and the Taste of Chicago, I guess the Taste of Chicago, we were at that. And also the Air and Water Show, the military Air and Water Show. We handed out a lot of information about Bradley Manning. So I think it's something, it's our duty to help this guy, defend him, because by defending him, we're defending our own freedoms and our own right to know. And if he loses, we are all going to lose. And all our work's going to be a lot harder. And the 1% will have more control over us than before.
Yeah, this is an important point. We in GLN feel very strongly that it's the duty of gay rights activists, indeed the duty of all activists for human rights, to demand the release of Bradley Manning. And it should be pointed out that it's not only Manning here who is being prosecuted, but they're going after WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, the person who published the information that it is alleged was released to WikiLeaks by Bradley Manning. So WikiLeaks itself is under attack and needs to be defended along with Bradley Manning. The next GLN meeting is at 7 p.m. Wednesday, July 11th. It's usually the first Wednesday of the month, but since the first Wednesday is the 4th of July, it will be at or on July 11th at the Burger Park Center at Granville and Sheridan Road. Once again, the Free Bradley Manning contingent in the Gay Pride Parade meet at 11 a.m. Sunday, June 24th, outside the new Target store near Sunnyside and Broadway. Again, the web address of the Courage to Resist, couragetoresist.org, where you can get more information on Bradley Manning. There's a link there that you can click, and all the information on Manning will come up on your screen. The next GLN show is right here on CAN TV, Channel 21, 6:30 p.m., Friday, July 13th.